hopefully you can hear me, because I know sometimes you can't hear me when I do these chats. That's why I'm coming a bit closer to the screen, and hopefully my volume is okay due to the fact I'm trying to be quiet because our son is still in bed. His alarm will be going off very shortly and we'll probably already disturbed him. As you've probably seen from the footage, yeah, I think it was 4:36. I've been up about an hour and a half now, and hubby's now gone to work. Now, the first day back, due to the fact they actually finished a little bit earlier. They finished at lunch, just gone lunchtime on the 23rd of December. Due to the fact one of the directors retired, so they brought caterers in, so they had a buffet. Normally they would have finished lunchtime on Christmas Eve, but they thought, which I thought was pretty good, they allowed them Christmas Eve off fully paid, which was brilliant, and half day on the 23rd due to the retirement as well. First day back today, which is the 4th. Another thing is the videos may come through a day later. I'll still be uploading, and I'll explain that again in a moment. Now, hubby has to go into work because he has to start work 2 hours earlier, so our alarm went off really early this morning. That's due to the fact that they have to do an auto age, or he has to, which is if lasers have been off 3 or more days, which they have, because the business has been closed. It's not his business, mind you, but the factory and the offices have been closed the whole of Christmas, which is the longest break they have, where it's totally closed down. So he has to go in, and the auto age means that it has to be slowly warmed up, the mirrors for the lasers, and it does take 2.5 hours. So yeah, and basically certain machinery and compressors, I'm not very technical minded, but I understand sort of briefly because I've seen some of the, you know, sort of the machinery when I have been in previously. So yeah, so that is why I'm up early. Now I'm going to fill you in very quickly because I don't want to let this go on too long, which I normally do. But I'm hopefully you're going to follow me through January. I know we did Vlogmas. January is going to be slightly different in the respect that it is the same sort of every January, which is what I do, but hopefully there'll be certain things that'll be different, more. I know you like the shopping. I may do some out and about videos during January, and what's in the stores and everything, and what's coming in, if there's anything different. But the shopping is down to a minimum, just basics, you know, food and necessities. That is the goal. The only trouble is it is my birthday this month as well, but I don't actually count that if I'm not personally spending money, if that makes sense. Although I couldn't go out and about last January due to lockdown. So 1st of January, I've got no script. I hardly ever have scripts. Sometimes I might have notes. I've got no script, so let's go over it. 1st of January was a very hectic day. New Year's Eve, I was actually preparing the home for visitors. New Year's Day, I had our son, daughter-in-law, granddaughter, in-laws, and obviously Dan was off work, and so was hubby and myself. We actually had a dinner party, and it was my mother-in-law's birthday, so that took up the whole of New Year. Luckily, me and hubby combined cooking dinner. I'd already got the joints on, had 2 turkey crowns, and had them in the oven before hubby got up, because I can't switch off. I didn't switch off hardly at all this Christmas, and I found it a little bit harder, and I think that's down, and I might have put this in one of my comments, or couple, that I think it was down to lockdown last year. You know, not having family visitors and that sort of thing. So, like everybody else, made that extra effort. This year, or should I say last year, this last year and this year, if that makes sense. So, New Year's Day was family. 2nd of January, my aim was to take all the decorations down in one day. Now, normally that does happen, but the last 2 or 3 years it's dragged on and on. The reason we took them down on the 2nd of January is because I had both hubby and our son off. So they helped, which is normally my job, and they just get the boxes down and put them back up. But they did actually help unpack the boxes. It did take a little bit longer due to the fact that I have got systems or decorating plans, yes, for this Christmas, different from last year, and some of the trees have been sort of swapped round. Son's not so keen on having the tree that he had in his room, so he's having the little one off the breakfast bar that's gone in his decorating box that will go on his dressing table. His tree will actually possibly go in the dining room because I have got a fair few more sort of gingerbread related and sort of food items and that sort of thing, decorations, and it's all going to be black and white gingham rather than the poinsettias and the red. That's the theme anyway. So, and I'll be cutting down the lounge. There was about 3 boxes, much to husband's and our son's surprise, that they've got no for 2022. Admittedly, don't know whether to stick to it. Everything's been labelled up with the days, the rooms. Yeah, my mind's going a bit as I'm trying to remember everything I want to discuss and fill you in and share. Yes, each box has been renamed for the room, because obviously I've got a lot more Disney items as well. Soft furnishings don't go up in the loft. And 3 boxes, and that big yellow bag has actually got the dining room tree, which we haven't put up in a number of years. That's a lovely tree, and it's 5 or 6 foot, I think. I don't want to get rid of it yet, and I'm hopefully going to stick to my plan that I say 3 boxes and that bag will not come down at all this year, this Christmas. And I'm sorry, I know we've just got over one Christmas and then on to the next, but it was just easier to do it that way. So when it all comes down, my aim, and this is actually my plan, that my aim is to get all the Christmas decorations done in one day. Maybe not start halfway through the day or 3/4 way through the day, which we did this time because it was on a Thursday. Was it Friday? No, it was a Friday. It was a Friday because we waited till hubby come home, and I think we didn't start until about 3:30. That was it, because the son was off to get everything down. And then I'll see after this year is maybe consider seeing if there is anything I really want to get rid of. Right, so that was day 2. Day 3, which should go up before this video, is all to do with the beds, washing all the furnishings for Christmas, all the bath mats, towels, everything like that, cushion covers if they need washing and things like that. The beds were done, and back to normal as much as I can. I did flick the hoover through, and I did take the attachment off and sat a lot of time on the floor, because it's getting all that tinsel up from the trees. And I don't know about you, unless you do it all in one go, which I didn't unfortunately do, it sort of gets stuck on fluffy socks and the heat socks we've got and everything, so it just carries through. But I try to get as much of it as I can. I know for a fact that I will definitely have to go through the home 2 or 3 times hoovering up to get that tinsel up from the trees. That's why I want to go more for ribbon, but you still get the fallout from trees, as you might have noticed when I was dusting. I did get our bedroom done and our son's bedroom done, just so it's nice and calm. It does look really bare, but I did put my lights, as you've probably seen, that I got half price from Dunelm, from £10 to 5, and they really are bright. So it's about the equivalent of a lamp. So it just give that little sparkle, plus a gnome going for this month. They are forecast snow this month, so we shall see. So that was day 3. Day 4, which is today, it's quite a shock to the system, with, say, Christopher, hubby, going back for the first day after a long break and going in early. Our son, he did go back to work during Christmas and New Year, but he's had a few extra days because he was owed holiday, and he did end up having to go in half day on one of his holiday days because they were struggling. But there you go. That's just filling you in. Right, January. Like I said, it's to do with trying to simplify life a little bit. I'm going to say a little bit. I'm not a minimalist, if that's the right term, never will be. But each year, and we must be on year 7. I think it's number 7, 6 or 7. I think it's number 7, where every January I go through a home and get rid of anything that's not useful, broken, or being worn. Now, there is the category where you have got sentimental, which is fair enough, and I do. And there's some items where, yes, they're not used regularly, but they still need to be stored. Now, I know there is maybe a couple of question marks on a couple of items, and I've got a basket in my wardrobe of clothing that possibly I was like a halfway house and wasn't sure about. But each year, funny enough, although I've got less and less stuff, although I've still got a lot of stuff and a lot of clutter, I do tend to find it a lot easier getting rid of the stuff being that much older. And I don't know, you know, I feel as though some of the sentimental stuff, maybe crockery or something, or glasses that I wouldn't have used 5-7 years ago, I felt, well, I'm going to use it, if that makes sense. So yeah, I've got a couple of things I was hoping always the first week, and sorry about my hands, yes, I try not to. First week I like at home, sort of getting back into my routines and getting straight. It's not going to work. The community centre's asked me to go in at least half a day, which might be on Wednesday unless it gets cancelled. The Wednesday before Christmas was cancelled due to staffing issues and everything. So, because I'm a volunteer, so the person that was supposed to run the community centre was having to cover somewhere else, so they just said we'll cancel it. So unless that gets changed, that's mainly to do planning and everything, what we're going to do in craft group and everything. And they're talking about having a well-being session once a week as well, which I won't be running, but I'll probably be joining. So, and then I've got on Friday, funny enough, New Year's Eve, I got a phone call from the hospital to say could I have my second treatment of laser surgery on my left eye. So that's booked in for Friday at 9:15 in the morning. So unless that gets cancelled due to problems, as you know, with the virus. So we'll see what happens there. Because it was a phone call, so I'm not sure if I'm going to get another phone call or a letter. So I might actually ring the hospital on Thursday just to confirm that. Funny enough, I had it on a Tuesday evening, and I had a bad head and everything, and I felt rough for a few days. On the Wednesday, I'm not sure if I said this, so I had the procedure 21st, was it the 21st? I'm losing track, 21st December, I think. Yeah, it must have been, and or whatever. And then the next day I actually got a hospital ring me up and say could I go the following day, which would have been the Thursday, and have the second treatment. And I was up and down because I said, well, I've just recovered, and I said my eyesight's still not brilliant from the first treatment, and I said I was told 2 to 3 weeks for the second treatment. And I said, to tell you the truth, I've got quite a few visitors, and it's hubby's birthday, Christmas Eve. So I said, you know, I said, I don't think that's going to work, because I don't want to have another headache and not be able to see, knowing that I've got company coming. So fair enough, they said. I think it was because they got slots, and I'm wondering whether the slot I've got on the 7th is also maybe a cancellation. So I know what to expect now, which has made me more nervous now. So that's enough for that. Now, January, it's about, you know, going through systems, going through every, or practically every nook and cranny, drawers, wardrobes and everything. And I don't mind this. Very often my systems work. They only vary a shade if life changes or something gets more difficult, or like I had to alter a few years ago our dining room, just the fact that I've got a toy station in there, although the kitchen's got a question mark on it. I'm talking about the play kitchen for a granddaughter. We're thinking about getting rid of that. I've had it for 2 or 3 years now, and she mostly plays with the Spalin family or the doll's house, so the kitchen maybe going, there's a question mark on that. So systems do change, but most of my systems now, I feel they've been running a number of years and they work. So I'm going to ask you whether you want to join me in getting rid of stuff during this month, even if you work just a few minutes a day. I tend to have one of my linen baskets, as I said, and I ask not just myself but family members to chuck things in. What I tend to do is a kickstart, 7 items for 7 days, 7 items per 7 days, if that makes sense. If you've been following me right from the beginning, you know this is the sort of thing I do. So, and I know like Kaz does it, Carol does it, and I know a few of you out there have got sort of health problems, and I understand that. It could just be sitting in bed. I've done this, paperwork, magazines, anything like that, little job. Maybe you could do a few minutes if you're up to it per day, even if it's sitting. You know, like there's a few things that I find really easy. Packaging's gone out. We've got recyclable next week. Today is just general rubbish, which it was full. Our recyclable bin is full again, although it was emptied last I was about to say, well, it was last week. So yeah, so normally one of the things that's quite easy is packaging, especially if it's not electronics where you have to keep the packaging. Some toiletries, I've said this, can come out packaging if you're going to use them straight off. Sometimes you feel, don't, especially like the guys, if you don't take them out the packaging, they'll just say, oh, you know, we'll leave it, and it's there if we need it. Do you know what I mean? It used to be all Christmas catalogues. I didn't have one Christmas catalogue this year. Didn't even pick up Tesco's, I don't think. And I don't know if they did them, to tell you the truth, but then again, I think a lot of my shopping was either in Corby when I went for our vaccinations, flu vaccination and things like that, booster, that sort of thing, or online. So I hadn't got like the boots. Like I said, I don't know whether stores did all the catalogues or not. I've actually got this one to put out. This is the only magazine I bought. I don't particularly buy magazines, but the Christmas one I do, so that's going out. So that is one of the easiest things, I think, to actually get rid of. Another thing is I do in January, usually have done it by now, but I've been keeping an eye on everything, is to make sure everything food-wise, especially if it's perishable, is in date, what stock you've got. We have got 2 large boxes of biscuits. None of the boxes of biscuits were open, funny enough. 1 tub of chocolates is in the fridge, in a plastic container, so I could get rid of that one. It's one of those that's got a handle, because our guys like chocolate. But telling you the truth, the last 3 or 4 days especially, nobody's wanted chocolate. Sometimes I might be diabetic, and I know Jackie bought me some diabetic sweets, which thank you very much, but some of them, you know, the little ones, you know, they're okay, you know, if I don't eat too many. I think what it is desserts. With having Christmas Eve do and New Year, there's been desserts left for the next day which we've used up, and I might have to rethink that one. We've got boxes of mince pies which are well in date, and the cream's well in date and things like that. So I am writing out sort of menus and making sure that everything is used up when it should be. As I said, luckily a lot of things have got long dates, but just be aware of it. I know you're probably already aware of that, but sometimes, you know, amongst everything, things get shoved in the cupboards. And admittedly, I've done this in drawers, cupboards or anything, and you might have seen me as I'm going around, like in our bedroom. I've got that little cupboard that I painted that was briefly in my cubby that had some of the ornaments from the bedroom shelving, and the coasters, because I've took the Christmas ones out of the bedrooms, they've come out. So yeah, I tried to get away from shoving things, but I tried to put things where I could retrieve them after all the Christmas decor comes back out. But normally it takes a couple of days to get back into your routines, get things straightened up and get back in line, as I like to call it. Yes, so we've had quite a few late nights, so going back to my videos, they will be going up one day later. When it was Vlogmas, I set my aim, my target, to make sure they went on the day that they were videoed, and sometimes it was like one of them was like 10 to 12. Managed to actually get it uploaded, at least it was on the same day, things like that. I did do a little mini extra video to coincide with this New Year's Day also. After all our guests went, we put a movie on, and because we watched all three of Narnia, which was really lovely, and April did mention to me another version which I'm going to research. Said something about the BBC, so I'm going to research that and see if that's any different. I don't know if that was a movie or mini-series, whether that's different to the three movies I watched off of Disney Plus, but I thoroughly enjoyed them. Didn't remember the third one, that's going off topic. We had the American Sweet testing, so that actually was videoed New Year's Day, but went up obviously the 2nd, so I still uploaded each day, but my video will be probably a day late, just to give me that bit of time for editing, getting back into routine again, because I've gone to bed, trying to go to bed earlier, that is, anyway, as it's been late, especially after I have edited. And the problem is with editing later on that particular day or whatever, my mind can't switch off, and I think it's been 1, 2 o'clock in the morning before I can settle down, even though I've gone to bed, if that makes sense. So I'm just trying to remember everything I said. Yeah, so going back to the decluttering, so hopefully follow me at least 7 items per day for 7 days. And if you can get rid of more, all well and good. If you're not up to health-wise, you know, maybe, you know, you can have a notebook, a pen. I know some of my subscribers are feeling it and not too well. Don't get discouraged, because I know myself, if I haven't accomplished something by the end of the day, I feel bad about it. I try and get away from that, because I know what pain feels like, and I have not got it as bad as a lot of people. There's always somebody worse off than yourself. So you could have a notebook, maybe you could do a bit of meal planning if you don't already do that, do your shopping lists or whatever, you know, little things to get yourself organised, even if you don't keep it up from week to week, day to day, month to month like that. There's little things, maybe you could jot down a couple of ideas, or I don't call them New Year's resolutions, I call them goals. And if I've got a major goal, I might have about 3 or 4 mini goals or steps to reach that final goal, which may take all year or a couple of days, weeks, months, whatever. I don't tend to do New Year's resolutions as such. So I count them as goals because they tend to take a number of steps to reach that goal. So there'll be a lot of homebound, if that's the right term, videos. I'll try and put in some shopping as well, but not necessarily actually purchasing items and doing hauls, unless it's food. And already, you know, I meal plan anyway, that's something I do. Shopping list, yes, if I've got a main, you know, do coming up party or family coming, but most of the time I know my food might look a bit boring. There's certain meals that we have regularly every week. It's just that I know what the family eats, and I can do the costing that way as well, so I can budget that way. Something else you can do while you're sitting down or laying in bed, maybe a little bit budgeting, but also what I'm saying is, I must say this to myself, is don't get discouraged. We have all these grand plans for the new year, and as it sort of fizzles out through the year, and I'm going to try and be more positive. As you know, I've had health problems, I've had a few scares, you know, and I'm not going to dwell on it because I don't want this video to be depressing. I know I have got a couple of relations that I don't think are going to see much of the new year in, unfortunately. I've suffered from anxiety, panic attacks, you know, so yeah, but try and be positive, and that's what I'm going to try and bring through more in my videos if I can, especially the kickstart of this month and following through. If you want to comment below how you're feeling, you know, I want this like community, because I know some of you don't comment but you watch my videos, and I know these natter ones and rants or whatever do go on a bit longer, and I'm looking at the time now and I didn't mean to go on for so long, but sometimes I know I've also had comments that I might send people to sleep, which is fair enough. I have my voice in the background while you're working, or whatever, things like that. So I'll always remember Diane, and I'm hoping she might watch this video. She was cleaning while she had one of my cleaning videos on at the same time. So I was watching her clean while she was clean. Let me get this right, it's early. I was watching her clean while she had my video on her TV while she was cleaning, if that makes sense. And it was quite funny actually. So yeah, so hello Diane, you know, if you want shout outs or you don't mind me, I've mentioned this before about names, even if it's not surnames, you know, if you don't mind mentioning your names, you know, especially if some of the comments, again, sorry for the delay, I've been so busy, I'm really behind. Some comments I've picked up if I've been having my morning coffee or happen to sit down for that moment and seen something that's cropped up, so some of the comments that have been answered are sort of out of the queue. I've lost the word there, but yeah, if you understand. But sometimes I feel that even if I've not mentioned the name, you might know who I'm talking about. That might need a little bit more explanation maybe than what I can comment, or I feel easier talking like this than actually, you know, typing it out. So I'm going to end it here because I bet I've bored you to tears, but I want to wish you all a happy new year. I say it is decluttering, it is organising, and just getting systems in place. Excuse any wrong wording, as I said, my mind is going like anything at the moment. I'm going to have a second cup of coffee, which I don't do, and then I might clean the lounge. I'm thinking about that. Say, I'm looking at the time. Hopefully our son's alarm will be going off in a few minutes. Just have to make sure everybody gets up. I'm fairly wide awake, so I'm just making sure the guys are aware that they have to go to work. So hopefully you enjoyed this video or follow me along, and also please comment below how you get on with your decluttering, reorganizing and everything. And also reviewing is a good word also that I like to use. So thanks for watching. Goodbye.